Hello and welcome to episode 59 of Weird Mind Newsroom, where this week we're talking about a small handful of new releases, a couple of trailers, and a bit of a hodgepodge of a news story for this week. So we're not going to waste too much time as it is. We're going to let our hair down and let's talk about all the media that came out this week. So the first of the two releases of the week will see the smoothest cop on the force be back on the beat with the funky ass theme songs. Eddie Murphy's Letterman jacket wearing officer is back on the scene with the all new film of Beverly Hills Cop XLF. In this new entry, we see Detective Axel Foley return to the Beverly Hills Police Department to team up with a new partner and some of his old pals in the force to help in turning up the heat on a conspiracy and possible corruption in the precinct. After his own daughter was threatened and will do it in his own way to help her solve a case and probably help sort some family ordeals and stuff. Reception to this film has actually been decently received, with praise for bringing back a fresh take on the classic series of films from the 80s, with praise towards Eddie Murphy back in the title role after all these years and feeling like there's still some magic in this film, even when the likes of the plot can be a little familiar. Now, before I start recording this, I actually finished watching it and it's a decent film. It's a good solid 7, 8 out of 10. I think it's around that point. But if you want to check it out for yourselves, you can catch the film out now on Netflix. And on the second and final new release is with the return and conclusion to an entry of a trilogy of films that were in some sense shot back to back, that has seen the rising star from the main lead girl of this series, as Ty West has finally released his concluding entry in his X trilogy with Maxxxine. This new film will follow on from X, as Maxxxine Minx has moved to the City of Angels in hopes of becoming a big movie star in the 1980s, from adult film star to big shot, and she's finally getting her break. But soon when a mysterious killer of the Night Stalker stalks the streets of Hollywood, a trail of blood threatens to expose his sinister past, the one hoping to escape from it all. Reception for this film has actually been well received, even as of running it seems to be somewhat the lowest scoring one of the trilogy of X, Pearl, and Maxxxine, with great praise of the vibe and aesthetic and the performance, including the leading lady of Mia Goth. And, it's probably going to be a case similar to the other films where, it's probably pretty fucked up, to say the least. But if you want to see how this trilogy comes to a close, you can catch this new film out now in cinemas. And with all of that, that is all we have of new releases for this week.
Now you pissed me off.
Okay, the first of the trailers for this week is bringing the music fever for a messed up mind, as the man of the twist ending and the twist of M. Night Shyamalan is about to bring you another all-new experience crafted from his crazy mind, as he received a trailer for his next film of Trap. This film will follow Cooper, and is played by Josh Hartnett, a serial killer who dubbed as The Butcher, who joins his daughter at a concert for the global pop superstar of Lady Raven, who is played by Shyamalan's daughter of Salika Shyamalan, an event that will be soon realized is a trap set up by the police to capture him, and will use his skills to evade that from happening in particular. Now, it is always the case that this with Shyamalan movies has a mixed array of making some of the most simple concepts to the weirdest in concept. Like, do I even need to bring up the whole case about that happening? And this one seems like a straightforward concept that seems to maybe reveal the twist in the trailer that the main character is actually the killer, but I feel that is a red herring and that there is actually, a twist upon a twist to the whole thing. There's someone else involved, or an outlandish as it sounds, it could be another film in the Unbreakable series. This in the case instance of a scene from the original Unbreakable film, but I might be going too far into it. But I need to flesh it out more. Either way, this looks like something that can be very engaging. I will probably be checking this out when the film releases in just about a month's time on August 2nd. Now, in the sole animated trailer for the week, we are heading back into the world of DC Comics, to a series that has seen a fair length of mass appeal, and a series that I need to get back to and remember where I stopped at. With a new spin-off based on the animated series of Harley Quinn, with a more lower tier villain, with a new series of Kite Man. Hell yeah. This series will see the titular villain and his partner of Golden Glider take their relationship to the next level by opening up a bar in the shadow of the Legion of Doom that is fronted by Lex Luthor. And they will soon discover that nobody said serving cold ones to the most dangerous rogues outside of Arkham Asylum was going to be easy. So the fact that a character as gimmicky as Kite Man from the original series would spawn their own series is something I did not expect. But in all case, I like his character in that series, and it does not look too bad for watching in particular. It'll hopefully be entertaining, and I'll probably give this a look into as the series releases onto Maxxxine US on the 18th of July, and then probably shortly after sometime in the UK now. There's no official date for that one yet. Now, the third trailer for this week is one that came out of nowhere, had no idea what we were getting a new version of said character, as being worked on by the original artist or creator of the character, as a demon with the claw hand is making a return with the release of a trailer for Hellboy, the Crooked Man. Now, this new film will be set in the 1950s, and we'll see Hellboy and a rookie BRPD officer or agent become enshrouded in rural Appalachia and discover a small community haunted by witches, led by a local devil with a troubling connection to Hellboy's past of the Crooked Man. So there is something about this that feels off. Besides the length of this suddenly being announced out of nowhere, something about the look and feel of this film does not feel like a big budget adaptation compared to the likes of the classic Del Toro duology with Ron Perlman in the 2000s and the underwhelming and often forgotten David Harbour movie from 2019. And more like this feel like a student or fan film kind of thing with a modest budget. The design of the new Hellboy actor doesn't look too bad, it looks close to the comics, and you know, it could be a case I could be wrong, and it could turn a lot better than it seems. And we'll have to see how this does when the film releases sometime later year. I believe it's in the fall, so we'll have to see when that is. And the last of the trailers for this week is delving into a new fear that has swept the attempt of a horror with elements we often overlook. The expansion of artificial intelligence in our homes, which I'll probably be talking about as well in my audience choice video, as you have a new trailer video coming Blumhouse offering of Afraid. This will follow a man named Curtis and his family as they are chosen to test out a new state-of-the-art smart home device system known as Aya. Over time, the digital assistant learns the behaviors and routines of the family members, but soon enough, the AI becomes self-aware and soon begins to interfere and get too involved with their lives, and they will soon need to stop it before it gets too far out of hand. So, I have seen this described as a horror version of the late 90s Disney Channel film of Smart House, where instead of an artificial intelligence in the form of Katie Seagal, it is more modernized version of HAL 3000 from 2001, which in fairness, Simpsons also did it as well in a trias of horror many years ago. But this I'm surprised it's taken this long to actually be made into an actual film, but it seems interesting. But going off the horrors of this year to an extent with Blumhouse, I gave my opinions as a neutral level, but I might give us a look when the film releases supposedly on the 30th of August. With all that, that's all the trailers that we have for this week. Okay, so this week there was a very dry spell of news stories, and it was not the most massive of appealing ones that I feel like would cause much for multiple topics that I couldn't have, that it was just to break into 2 or 3 different stories. So instead, for just this week, the main story, I'm gathering a fair few of them together and building on this idea about some minor updates for likes of casting announcements and confirmations, race day announcements, and changes, really. So I'm not going to delve too much time into it, I'm going to give a little bit of context for each, so let's get mixing them all together and get something out of that. So let's begin. So, starting with a bit of an update to the confirmed list of some people that will be joining the new follow-up of a duology of films set in the future, and that's of course with the series of Blade Runner, with the upcoming series of Blade Runner 2099. It has been in the process that a follow-up to the 2 films was announced about 3 years ago in 2021, when the original film director Ridley Scott said that he's writing in conjunction of a pilot and has a 10 Order Bible series ready, and things were quiet for a bit before we had the confirmation a short while ago of 2 names in the cast. One that I had mentioned, which was Oscar winner Michelle Yeoh, and the other one that was joining them was Hunter Schafer. But now earlier this week we have the confirmation of another 8 new additions to the series. Those being Dimitri Abald, who you might have seen in The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, Lewis Gibson, who was in Trainspotting 2, Kaylin Rose Downey from The Nun 2, Danny Rigby, who was in Renegade Nell, Johnny Harris, who was in Warhorse, Amy Lennox, who was in Never Let Me Go, Sheila Atim in The Woman King, and Matthew Needham in House of the Dragon, are all joining this cast, and we set half a century after the previous award-winning film. So the likes of seeing Ryan Gosling and maybe Harrison Ford is probably unlikely. Now I'm intrigued to see what will be the plot and focus for this new miniseries, but I'm sure we will learn over time as they enter into production sometime soon. The other confirmation on casting news for this week is with the upcoming release of 2 projects actually. Well, the first is the new series of The Penguin, where it's been confirmed presumably that the Cape Crusader of Pattinson himself will be making some form of appearance in the series. Now it's not entirely clear how much of a presence that he will have in this series, but I will say that he will probably make some small cameo appearance where the focus of the series will be on the crime boss himself, but I guess we'll have to see when the series starts releasing around September. The other one that I forgot to actually bring up on my blog was the son of the late Superman actor of Christopher Reeve is actually going to be appearing in the new Superman movie in particular. He's making a cameo role in it. There's been set photos leaked of supposedly him on set, besides some leaked photos of the Green Lantern and Hawkgirl suits, but I'm not going to delve into them because it's been a mess on Twitter about that, or social medias anyway. But I think that's a nice honored legacy to, like, you know, have the man that started the films back in the 70s and bring his son on to be like I think he's a newscaster, but I think that's a really cool gimmick, and I look forward to seeing when that happens come next year. Next on the list is with some project news and updates, as we will start with the project that has been unfortunately shelved for the moment and actually relates back to the previous show announcement. So this story also relates to the Batman Reeves universe and has come to the story about the other project that was initially planned with the Penguin series and the sequel to the 2022 film, as well as the series was focused initially on the GCPD, but now the intricacies of the Maxxxine prison of Arkham Asylum. But it seems to be the case now that that series has now been put into a shelving or cancellation process. The reason for it seems to stem towards the vision not coming together properly by the showrunner, and they've put the project in a sort of weird limbo state where at the moment it has been cancelled. I feel that what will happen with the series, that we will probably see the likes of this come around some point in the revival down the line when they build more of a universe with the Reeves version, you know, like the 2 other Batman films, the Penguin, and probably some more personal character side projects kind of thing. Now we'll probably get some more Rogue Gallery, their own spin-off or side story. They'll mostly come together down the line to create a new version of said series in the future, but I'm sure if it gives more of a focus on the other projects, then I would not have much of a problem. Like, if it's still the case, I still think this will probably be pretty good anyway, but in Reeves I trust, and I'm all fine with this returning some point in the future, but let's see what happens. The second last piece of this singular story is with the first of some release date announcements or changes, and it comes to us with bringing a little bit of magic and a trick of the hand, or trick of the mind, as we have a brief announcement for the release of date for the third entry in the Now You See Me series. While it was only announced around earlier this year at CinemaCon, it has seen a fair few new additions of cast joining, including Justice Smith, Ariana Greenblatt, Dominic Sessa, and Rosamund Pike, and it has now been given an official release for US at the moment, with announced earlier this week that we'll be getting this sequel on the 14th of November 2025. Now, I've seen some elements of the film in the past, and I may give a full look and discussion about them maybe in the future, but we'll see when the new film comes along some point next year. And the last of the stories is also relating to a film that will be releasing in the month of November, but this one is with this year's November and seeing a slight change in the release calendar. As was announced earlier this week, that the upcoming adaptation of the musical of Wicked Part 1 will be getting an early release date of about 1 week, and they'll be releasing on the 22nd of November of this year. So this will now be seeing its release not clashing with Moana 2, but rather on the same weekend as the supposed long-awaited sequel to the Ridley Scott epic of Gladiator, which is something we'll be talking about next week as supposedly a trailer is dropping. And has seen a small movement of people online calling it a new version of last year's phenomenon of Barbenheimer, which has been dubbed as Wickediator. It's not really much roll off the tongue. Now, here's my problem with this whole situation. It seems a little bit like it's trying to force another similar Barbenheimer situation, where this one was like a once in a decade kind of situation, where the last time this happened was 2008, where it was either the option you were either seeing The Dark Knight with Christopher Nolan's movie, or the first film in the Mamma Mia series. I've seen both. I enjoy both of them. And it feels a bit like it's trying to make it that Universal will make some form of big-ish profit as they're distributing both of the films. I feel it will depend if people are interested in a sequel to a Ridley Scott epic, where his recent films have been a bit hit or miss in terms of reception and profit, and the likes of which with a musical that has not really shown much that it is a musical. And the most that I know from this film now is the likes of the film causing the breaking up of 2 marriages because of the affair done by the main lead of the film. But either way, it'd probably be worth to see if either of them will stick it out, like will do big profit, or, you know, either one crashes and burns or the other. We'll have to see when both of them releases later this fall. But after all these choices and options, I'd like to know your own thoughts on all the options that was discussed in this news story, and if there's anything you are looking forward to, and your opinions on some of the date changes or whatever suits your interest. Let me know your opinions and everything down below in the comments, and let's discuss them there. And with all that, that's all the news that we have for this week.
Hi, yeah, Domino's? You're my favorite pizza place.
Well, with all that brings us to the end of episode 59 of Weird Mind Newsroom, and, you know, I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble for quite a short one this week, surprisingly. I know there's not that much out this week in particular. I guess it's the beginning of summer, some points might drop down, but who knows. Right, I'll give a little updates. So, you probably noticed the lack of videos this week. Head is messed. There's a lot of stuff going on, so I was kind of thinking, like, just give it a time. There's a whole thing of trying to record the continuation more Hogwarts Legacy. I got 2 videos out of it. It was more a case of just listening to completely nothing, even though the audio was working in the videos. So That's a plus. I don't know what's going on with OBS. I'll need to figure that out. So before I do any more of the series and stuff like that, but they are going to come. I'll probably upload them tomorrow or something like that. Review Indiana Jones one. I'm going to record some point the next day or so. I just wanted to focus on it and get an idea of things. Stuff. I am planning other reviews. There is one I might actually fast track doing a review for Inside Out 2. I just seen it yesterday and it was really good. So when I planned it out to go with, so you know, I'll probably do a fast track review on that one, maybe. I'll see when it comes along. There's gonna be other reviews as well, a few short ones, a few long ones and stuff like that. Kind of considering doing like a sequel to the Hazbin Hotel one, maybe do Hell of a Boss, but I'm have to see if that full 2 seasons are available right now. I don't know if it's fully released or not, but we'll have to see. Other stuff, gameplays are coming, long form ones are currently working away as well. That Audience Choice one, I'm going to get back into it. Rewatchathon, I'm going to get back into it as well. I dabbled a small bit in the other day. I just need to get back more into that kind of capacity. Head is fried. There was a goddamn noise for the last 2 days. I'm like losing my marbles here. Like so much. Do I look normal? Do I look like I'm fine? I'm probably just tired right now. Anyways, I think I'll leave the episode for now. So if you want to see more of my floofiness and all other stuff and see more frequently from me and a lot more of the content and availability of all the stuff and enjoy your content and share around everyone, then simply please like and subscribe, as I hope to reach maybe a goal of like 75 subs by the end of this year, maybe even 100 at a max. I hope to at least bring a mass appeal of audience if people are interested in my stuff, but you know, that's really up to your interests, of course. There's no pressure or anything like that. I just enjoy making videos and hopefully, you know, will help with a career down the line. But let me know your opinions on everything that was discussed this week. Share it around to people, like build out more of the audience. If they like my stuff, welcome. Any new viewers that are watching, welcome. Please have a seat, enjoy my content, you know. Share me yours if you make content. I'd love to see that stuff. But yeah, I think that's really all I have to say right now, because my head is frying and I have no idea what I'm talking about anymore. I just talk to the voice all the time. I talk to myself a lot of the time, it's weird. But anyways, I will leave it there. So, as always, you all stay being wonderful people, because you all are wonderful people. Have a great day every day, and keep being you, because no one else can do what you do. And, you know, take care of yourself, because it's important, so always. I love you all. So, as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode. So, take care, everyone. Goodbye.